If you recall the alternate picking we undertook in the last module, we used Yngwie's forward slanted or downward slanted pick position and the upward escape path, and we kept it all in place using the convenience of even numbers of notes per string. Whether we went to a higher or lower string next, the pick was always primed to go there because we were in the safe zone, the escape zone above the plane of the strings. Here's a reminder of that consistency using the fingering convenience of the A hybrid minor scale pattern. So we've got a really good thing going there, and we can keep that in place as long as we continue to play even numbers of notes per string and finish with the pick up above the strings. But as soon as we encounter a string where a downstroke is the last pick stroke, we're going to find ourselves in a situation where the pick no longer finishes up in the air, free to go to any string we like next. To get to the G string and then the B string respectively using alternate picking pick strokes, I either have to add wrist extension to my existing picking setup, or I have to reorient my picking hand to work along the downward escape motion path. Instead of doing either of those things for scalar picking lines, we just need to think back to the guide rail picking approach to find Yngwie's solution waiting there for us. If you think back to picking suite number 2 for a moment, I gave you a tip to ensure that your straight line picking motion always worked in the upward escape path. I suggested resting your downstrokes on the adjacent string below and then moving your upstrokes along that same line of motion, finishing above the strings. This is what I dubbed the guide rail approach. I did this back then for a reason, not just to get your tremolo picking sorted out, but also to embed a concept in there that we're going to activate now. Instead of needing to wait for an upstroke to finish the D string and then move to the G string in this case, Yngwie can simply take any of those rested downstrokes, push through on the same pick stroke, and continue playing from there. In other words, moving through the guide rail instead of turning around or jumping over it. That same move works when moving from the G string to the B string. So whether we have odd numbers or even numbers, we can move up to the next string in the most efficient way. It's one hand position, but two picking approaches. Congratulations, you just economy picked. You didn't have to think about any silly nonsense about switching from alternate picking to sweep picking. You just followed each pick stroke through to its logical conclusion. Instead of actively thinking about a sweep, you just applied some release to a pick stroke that was already rested. Taking the shortest route to new strings like this actually has some incredible speed advantages too. But if you're a first-time economy picker, it's going to take a little bit of programming time just to get you used to approaching new strings without jumping over them and doubling back up. So to reinforce that connection and logical follow-through of rested downstrokes and economy picking, I want you to run through a guided practice session with me using this lick. Bars 1 and 2 have the same notes and pick strokes as each other, as do bars 3 and 4 on the next string pair. The difference is in playing with stops on the guide rail strings versus playing through them. This will help reinforce that idea that economy picking is about releasing those rested pick strokes rather than consciously switching picking systems. Have a go at this in the next video, and then we'll continue with further economy picking development. Hey, Chris Brooks here, and I'm excited to finally be able to invite you to join me for Viking Shred Guitar Suite, my premium video course delving into the legendary guitar styles of one of Sweden's most iconic shred guitarists. You might have studied my original video course on this subject years ago, read my Neoclassical Speed Strategies book, or checked out my guitar lesson columns in Guitar Techniques magazine and Guitar World Online. But this new immersive course will go above and beyond all of those resources to create what I hope to be the ultimate resource for learning all facets of this area of study. So join me for the Viking Shred Guitar Suite, and let's get you on the fast track to learning all about playing like that guy we've been inspired by since 1983. Practice 4.6 will begin building that connection between rested downstrokes and economy picking. 60 BPM to start with. Your turn. Jumping up 15 to 75 BPM now. Make sure you're using the guide rail all the way through. It's okay if you miss one or two, but try to come back to it as soon as you can. Jumping up to 90 BPM now. Make sure those pick strokes feel like one motion, not two down strokes. $105 now. Keep a lock on the timing as we speed up. Remember, we're not playing triplets just because there's 3 notes on a string. From 120 to 135 now. Ramping down now, 120. One more cool down, 105. And we're done. Go and have another go. If you're losing the rhythm, remember to lock in with those kick drums.